Hi, everybody. It's Heather, Expert Entrepreneur. How are you doing? Did you watch the webinar? I've got to ask you. I just got off of there and watched Dan and Jason, and I'm telling you, it was amazing. If you haven't seen it yet, click the link below to watch the replay. And before I get into it, I just want to say that this is not investment advice. I'm not a licensed advisor or accountant or attorney or I'm not licensed or authorized to give advice about anything. So you must do your own research. I'm just an individual person who is sharing her experience, what has happened with me and what I know about the plan and about the investment that I've made. And I hope that it will help to enlighten you on your journey. So on that note, please know that you do need to do your own research, and cryptocurrencies are considered a high risk investment. Even though this is the lowest risk, safest strategy there is to invest in crypto, there still is a chance you can lose money. So you need to know that, and you need to make an informed decision. So on that note, let me carry on and get going with this presentation. It's only up for a couple of days. And let me just say, I've had people coming out and emailing me and reaching out through the comments on YouTube and whatnot under my videos, saying, asking new questions. And they were around a couple of months ago, the last time the doors were open for the plan, and didn't get in. And now they're thinking, okay, now's the time. You know, it's been 7 weeks. I just did the math because I wanted to know what to say to you here. It's been 7 weeks since the last time this program was available to get into, to buy. And in those 7 weeks, you know how much money I made? It's an idea for you. What are you missing out on? Here, this is your opportunity cost, okay? I'm averaging right now $158 a day. And if I times that by 7 and time for 7 days in a week, and then times it by 7 again, because it was 7 weeks, that's $7,700. And do you know what I've been doing? Well, that's been how hard I've been working to make that money happen. That's like 30 minutes of work, maybe, over those 7 weeks to put those bots together and get them and just let them be sitting there churning away. And that's why I want to do this video for you today, because I want to stress to you, you know, I understand that if you're new to this, it might be a little complicated. You might not quite fully grasp and understand how it works. So I'm going to try my best to explain it in a completely different way than what Dan and Jason do. And let's see if it helps at all or not. I hope it does. But I really wanted to stress this and bring it out, make the point of that being your lost opportunity, your cost of opportunity for not moving forward and waiting and hesitating and sitting back. And incidentally, that money, that is during pretty much a down market too. And I'll talk about that when I show you my little demonstration of how my manual demonstration of what I feel like the bots look like in real life if they were a physical thing, other than the graphs that we see with all the red and green circles. But yeah, I think that right now is such an opportune time to get involved in this for so many reasons. And if you've read my official review that I wrote on this program on my blog, the post will be, or the link will be beneath this webinar as well, or this video. You can check that out too. But you can get a really good idea of just all the reasons why now is perfect. You are in the right place at the right time. It's as far as crypto goes, it's still considered a ground floor opportunity. It's still considered, people who get in now will be considered early adopters. And there's a long way to go with this thing. It's definitely not going to fizzle out and disappear in our lifetime. Like, it's just not. If anything, it's going the other way, big time. And the kids of today are not going to know a world without blockchain and crypto, and that's going to be the way of the future. And it's going to be so much more transparent and ease of business, ease of transacting. Like, there's so many benefits to it that go far beyond just our little tiny speck of grain of sand here of being able to make an investment and make money off of this thing. Like, it's such a bigger thing than just that. So with that, let me give you my little bit of a demonstration to see if I can help you visualize what is going on when we're talking about these bots, because You really have. I mean, there's multiple ways to invest in crypto right now. You can do different things. And what most people are doing, and most people are also losing doing this method, is they're trying to time the market. They're trying to buy low and sell high. And I mean, it sounds easy, doesn't it? It sounds like we should all be able to do that, especially when you look back on the graphs and you think that's obviously was low. This obviously was high. I should have been easy to make the money off of it, but it just is not that easy to do. And if there was a reliable way to predict that and do it, then loads of us would just be making money like crazy because we'd all be doing that method, right? And the reality is the people who are using that method of trying to time the market by buying low and selling high, those are the 90 to 95% of the investors out there who are losing every time. Like, it's such a shame, especially when there's another method you can implement, which is this strategy that Dan Hollings has come up with in the plan that he teaches in the plan, where you have a whole other side of this opened up for your earning potential that is just unbelievable, or spectacular. Let me say that instead. So let me just start by saying that, yeah, for the purpose of this conversation today, let's consider that there's two ways to make money off of investing in crypto. And one of them is, let's just start by pretending that this here is a crypto coin. Okay, this big fat British pound is, let's call that a BTC. Let's pretend that's a BTC coin. And let's say that this United Arab Emirate dirham is USDT. So you can purchase just a position in the coin. You can buy an entire coin. If you've got about 57.5 grand, you can buy an entire Bitcoin right now today, or it might even be down to 54. It's been dropping like crazy. That's why usually it's not that big of a difference in price. I'm looking off to the side like I'm going to check, but I'm not going to check. It's going to be different as soon as this video is done and you check it anyway. So believe me when I say this last month, there's been huge jumps with BTC and with Bitcoin, which is BTC, that's the symbol for it, or the acronym for it. It's the tide that rises all boats, that one, where it goes, the rest of the market follows soon after. So yeah, if you wanted to buy an entire coin or a position in it, you could simply get yourself an exchange account, transfer your fiat currency in there, which is your US dollar or your Aussie dollar or your Canadian dollar or your British pound, and then convert it into BTC or whichever coin you want. And technically, just doing that, something that simple, you've got a position in it, you're holding it. And in the world of cryptocurrencies, that terminology, that term is called hodling. So they reversed the D and the L, and apparently it was some drunken guy who named it and it just kind of stuck. So that's called hodling. And you can do that. But the problem with that is you're trying to time the market, aren't you? Because you're not making any money off of that. It's just sitting there waiting, hoping that it's going to go up. So if you're right, great. But the second problem with trying to time the market and trying to buy low and sell high is that on the rare occasion that you actually do see an increase, right? And you did get in at somewhere in the market where it was lower and it's now gone up. What do? We sit back and go, okay, come on, keep going. We don't sell, do we? Because that's human nature, right? And when do you sell? After it's turned the corner and come back down, and probably after it passed the point the first time when you notice, oh, I was actually right for a change in my life. That's probably one of the times when, one of the reasons why we lose so often when we do the buy and sell, because that whole investor psychology comes into play as well. And it's so hard to overcome that, which is another reason why this other strategy is so effective, because that removes it. It removes that whole side of it completely. So remember, you've got this one potential way you can earn money or make money rather with your crypto by just getting a position in one of the coins and hoping that you've bought low and hoping that when you do sell, that you're selling high. The second way is with this mechanism, which is what we're doing. I'm calling it a mechanism. It's a bot. So what you wind up doing when you watch the webinar and you see Dan talking about the crypto bots, what that is you're basically playing two coins off each other is what you're doing. And you've got one stable coin that's on the right. And this is my right. And probably not when you're watching the video, but this is my right. The stable coin is always on the right. And the other coin is on the left. And this is the one, it's not a wild card by a long stretch, but this is the one that really moves around a lot. And so what you've got here is we've got this grid line. Okay, imagine this whole thing, this whole space is the cryptoverse market. Okay, we're taking this slice of it between my hands right here, and this is the place that we're gonna operate. We're casting our net for this grid, and there's all these lines right here. This is the whole, and each line is like an increment, and it's a value of money, an increment. Usually for us, where each one of them represents about $30. So you've got this grid line, and in this grid, you're going to have this crypto bot trading. After it's been constructed and put together, your stable coin is pretty easy. It's very frequently it's USDT, because it's not doing anything. It's not moving at all. And that's what you want. You want something stable to anchor it to. Okay. This one, on the other hand, is the one that is going to move around a lot. So if these two lines here are your grid lines, right? And let's say that this is the space of a week, then this one is not going to move around very much at all. But this one is. So as time goes by, it's going to go up and it's going to go down. It's going to go up, and maybe it's going to go up even higher, maybe even higher. And then it's going down. It's just going to keep doing this. And this is kind of what it's doing the whole time, right? Up and down and up and down. The difference is that because we've created the market between these two coin currencies, these two cryptocurrencies, what we've done is we've got this bot, this automation in place that's already pre-programmed. It's set up with its marching orders. It's like a little, it's like, I think of them like an AI army. You know, my bots just go out, they march out there, they listen to what I tell them, they take my orders, and they go out and they buy and sell and put the money in my balance. That the profits that it's spinning off every day, every hour, every minute sometimes is, and the way that it works is every time your bot is making, every time the price of this one goes down a little bit, it's going to purchase a tiny amount of it. So it's actually buying low, right? And then as soon as it actually goes up a little bit, then it's going to sell, and you're actually selling high. So you're doing what you want to do. It's just happening automatically in a tiny, tiny increment instead of this huge moonshot that you and I are hoping for all the time, right? So, and by the way, with all these marching orders and this pre-programming, you don't have to worry about any of that. That is all built in and done for you. There's literally a handful of settings that you have to deal with. And in the beginning, right now, Dan is offering his coin recommendation service, CPR, coin pairing recommendation, it's CPR. He's offering that service for, you're going to get that bonus for 2 months for free as soon as you finish taking the last session, which is awesome. So that means all those settings I'm talking about, those 6 or 7 settings that we have to actually figure those out. Those are done for you. And not only that, but Dan is also picking the coins for you. So what's great about that? That means it takes the pressure off of you. You don't have to worry about, do I know enough to pick a good enough coin yet? Or you don't have to put that whole, have it all riding on you and your level of knowledge at this point in time when you maybe are still a little bit inexperienced, right? So it gives you more confidence. You can just move forward with more confidence. I don't know how else to say that. And basically with those few settings that we have to put in, that's it. Everything else, all these other increments I'm talking about, that's already all built into this entire mechanism, this investment vehicle that we're creating here. This is your little mini bot. So once again, you've bought in and the price goes down, it buys a little. If it goes down some more, it buys a little more. It goes down some more, it buys a little more. It goes up, it sells, up, it sells, up, it sells. And every time it makes a sell, that is money in your pocket. That's profit. And we know that 100% for a fact because this bot is only programmed to sell for a profit. It cannot sell for a loss. The only person who can sell for a loss is you. And why would you do that? Well, that's a really good question, especially when you're making all this money the whole time through this bot profit. So the real answer to that is, why do people do that? Why do they sell for a loss? Is because they panic. That's one reason. The second reason is because you've invested money that you can not afford to lose, and you need it, and you've got to take it out, and you're at the mercy of where the market is. And that is why it's so, so vital that you follow that first rule and you do not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. It's not because we're planning on losing it. In all likelihood, you most likely will not lose it, or very much of it. It's really hard to lose money using this system. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. But the reason you don't want to invest more money than you can afford to lose is so that you're not in that position where you find that you have to sell in an unfavorable condition, an unfavorable time, because the market is going to go up and down. There are going to be times when you are technically sitting at a loss, when the value of this coin is dropped down and it's no longer worth what it was when you bought it. The thing is, the whole grid, if you're still in the grid, will have come down with it, and you will potentially still be making your bot profit as long as you're in those grid lines. And if it goes below the grid lines, there's things you can do too. There's other steps you can take to rectify that situation, to force it back into the grid so that you get back into that profit zone. Because this grid line here, this is your profit zone. I probably should have said that in the beginning, because that will make you tune in. This is your profit zone. So as long as this bot is trading in this profit zone, you're good, and it'll go up and down. And if it does go down out of the grid, like I say, there are things you can do to get back in there. But as long as you're in that range, this thing is going to be making money for you. And there's nobody that this has not worked for. The only thing that comes into play that might make it different or less effective for you or more effective for me is your own psychology and your own willingness to ride it out. And this last month has been a great example of that, because it has been a pretty down month as far as the value of Bitcoin goes, which pretty much will bring the whole market down with it. What happens with Bitcoin tends to happen throughout most of the rest of them kind of follow suit. And there's been a lot of red for many, many days in a row, many weeks in a row, in fact, a couple of weeks. So, and that can get to people. And imagine if you're the person who's just invested in the coin and you're not even getting any of this income along the way. You've only got this, and the market's going down, it's tanking, you're freaking out, right? And people do, they cut their losses and they ride it, even lower. And usually when you get out is just when it turns the corner. Isn't that how it goes? So let's forget about doing that and making those crazy gambles. Let's do something like this instead. And it's great if you get in and it does go up. And maybe at some point it's going to go up and you wind up selling, you've got a huge capital gain you love, and you're going to pay tax on that. And it's great because it's money in your pocket that you didn't have before. But that's not the one that I love, that I'm going after. It's these little tiny bot profits along the way, the cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Every time it sells at the top there, sells, that's money in your pocket. And that's serious money that you can live your life on, that you can quit your job on, that you can move to another house on, that you can take that vacation on, that will literally change your financial future. And I'm not kidding. I mean, for me, for the last, like I say, average, my account is up on average 30%. I've been trading with real money for 3 months now. And I'm up over just over 30%. It fluctuates too with the market. And it was a little higher than that before the Bitcoin was going down. But I've also been averaging $158 a day in my pocket. Completely passive income. That time that I spent to put those bots together, one by one, because I have 10 of them, amounts to about half an hour over the last 3 months. Like, I've done nothing. And as soon as I put it on and I leave it alone, that's it. And that money just keeps going into my balance, cha-ching, 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 one at a time. And these little tiny movements are tiny, you guys. We're talking about, maybe this was 26 cents. Then it goes down and buys some more. And then it goes up here and it sells. And maybe that one was $1.20. Maybe it goes down some more. And then this one sells. And maybe that was 46 cents. Like, they're tiny amounts. But the point is, It happens multiple times, like even can be hundreds of times in a day if you've got a real good wiggler, which is what we want. And that is where it's at. And that is why this strategy is so killer, why it's so spectacular, because you still can have that shot if you hope that it's going to go up. But in the meantime, you're making substantial, steady income that you can rely on. That's just happening constantly. And the reason we know it's going to continue is because of the volatility. This system, this investment vehicle that we're calling a bot, this wouldn't work in the stock market or even the options market or Forex. There's just not enough. It's not the same level of volatility as it is in crypto. This is like a purpose built for this market, this particular strategy of grid bot trading. And so it's the perfect combination. And yeah, so that, I hope that I've explained that well, that it can give you another visual and another way to think about how does this thing actually work. And what I thought I would do as well is just share my screen and show you a couple of shots from my account that you can actually see the what it looks like, what you would be looking at in your own account if you were to go ahead and do this. So let me just pause for a second. Okay, let me just share my screen here, and yeah, we should be good to go. So this is one of my bots. And when I'm talking about the grid line, this is what I'm referring to. You see all the red and all the green there. And the green circles and the red circles are all the buys and the sells. So the green is every time there's a buy, and the red is every time there's a sell. So every time you see the red, it's actually a really good thing. I know it's opposite of what we normally think, but that's money in your pocket. That's the cha-ching, 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 and the whole way. And so as it's going along and buying and selling against your stable coin, as long as it's remaining inside that grid, you're good. And if it drops down, I wanted to point out here, there's a place down here where it did drop down. And if I can just enlarge that a bit to show you, you see down here where there's no green or red circles and the green line stopped, right? That's when the price went below my grid. And lo and behold, I don't make any money there. That's a no profit zone. And so we don't want to be there for very often or very long. But like I say, there are many things you can do if you want to force it back in. But you see what's happened here. If you just wait, it actually popped back up on its own. And sometimes this can last a long time. Sometimes it can be down there for days or weeks or a month, and you just have to have the resolve and the patience to ride it out. And at the same time, you can think to yourself, you know, if you weren't doing this grid bot strategy to begin with, you wouldn't have had all that income, and you would just be sitting in that position anyway. So of course we want our bots to be producing as much income as often as they can. But when the time comes, because it will, that your bot goes below the grid, you can do one of two things. You can just relax and wait it out, or you can implement some of these other strategies to force it back into the grid. I guess there's a third thing you could do. You could sell, you could close your bot, panic and close your bot and sell and at a loss, because that's what you would be doing if you're out of the grid there, you would be. Why would you, right? Why would you, when you see all these red circles up here, all this money that I've been collecting along the way, and this is just one bot. I don't want to mislead you and make you think that this is $158 a day, because it's not. This is one of 10. And I've got 10 bots that are currently averaging 158 a day. That goes up and that goes down, it changes, and that's how it works. But it's the nice thing about this is that when you can get in with somewhere between 3 to 5 bots is the initial goal you should have. Doesn't mean you have to start with that, but it should be your initial goal to build up to at least 3 to 5 bots, so that you can take advantage of the portfolio effect and enjoy that. And what is that all about? What's the deal there? The thing is, when you've got just one bot on, this one here, like the one I just showed you that happened to go down, it was out of the grid, and we're waiting and we're waiting and waiting, and then all of a sudden it goes back up in there. This time we were waiting nothing was happening. We weren't making any money. But if you've got 3 to 5 bots, and certainly 10 is great, you've got all these other bots that are in different places and making different amounts of money and wiggling at different rates and producing different returns, right? So when one is down, another is hopefully up. And one of the ways we try to make that happen is not only by picking good coins, good stable coins, not like the stable coin that's always the stable coin on the right, but the good quality reputable coins, but it's also by you, just one second here. Yeah, sorry. So it's not only because of the good quality coin that you've chosen for many of your bots, because there's going to be some. I mean, I've got a handful of them that are not in those top rated 100 coins. There's some that are a little bit more of a gamble, and that's just a position I'm willing to take when I've got several coins that are already I consider to be quite conservative and strong and reputable. But the other thing about the portfolio effect is that when you've got all these other coins to fall back on, and you're buying at different times in the market, like Dan says, you don't put on 3 or 4 or 5 bots at the same time, like boom, 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 boom. You want to do them at different times in the market so that the conditions are different. It really makes a big difference because, like I say, when one is down, the others are, maybe not all of them, but other ones will definitely be up. And that averaging effect, the averaging effect is such a powerful concept when it comes to investing on so many levels. I mean, that's what dollar cost averaging is all about. And that's what you're doing when you're doing this, because every time it buys low and sells high, you're dollar cost averaging. It's built right in. It's built right into this mechanism, this investment strategy. You don't even have to do it. You can also do it on top of that and be, layering more money in, doing dollar cost averaging on your own. But this is already doing that for you. So, I mean, that's a huge effective averaging. But when you're looking at that portfolio effect, that's when that whole averaging overall of your portfolio really plays a big role, because that one coin that's down or the one bot that's down and not producing any income anymore, it's down and out of the grid. It's a lot less of a problem or a lot less of a concern when you've got a handful of others that are doing just fine, right? So that is the reason why we want to always have the main goal to work up toward the 3 to 5 bots. And just a quick note too on getting started and the bots too. And I know Dan touched on this in the webinar, but I can say that with the last intake, I had the pleasure of working with well over 100 people to help them with the bonuses that I offer. The whole suite of the bonuses that I offer, the point of them is to help you get from where you are now to get up and set up and up and running with your bots so that you can start getting that passive income going. And when I was working with these folks, we were able to see there were a lot of people who came in and had just enough money, just enough funds to actually buy the program, and had to save up to actually start their first bot. Which I think is actually an excellent idea, to be honest with you, because this gives you the ability to get in and start learning now, so that when you do have the funds and you're ready to go, you're ready to go. And you don't have to then start and lose that time. This is the learning time. This is the, you're sowing your seeds. You're definitely, you're planting your seeds, I guess it is. And it's important and you need it. And even if you had the capital to get started with, Dan always recommends that you start out with demo bots for at least a week or two until you get used to it, until you practice the moves, practice what needs to happen when and everything. So yeah, don't let that stop you if that's the position that you happen to be in. And there's also another really interesting thing too, because if you're new to the world of crypto, there's something that Dan teaches us in the plan that would be a way that any of us could save money quicker. Then our traditional methods, like if you've just got money sitting in your bank account and you're just waiting until your next payday so that you can shovel a couple more $100 at it, if this is the situation you're in, you'll be able to save up that money for that first bot way quicker by doing one of these strategies Dan has. So it's worth it for that as well, so that you can do that quicker. So yeah, and I've also had a handful of people in my group alone who made enough in their bot profit to cover the cost of their course within the first couple of weeks. I know that was the case for myself, that it took about 2 weeks and I had recovered the course fee myself. There's also some folks who were in there and within, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 weeks, they funded their next bot. That's $3,000 that they earned and created another bot with. And that's a great strategy too. You can look at it. And I mean, I know if you're in a position where you maybe can only do one bot or maybe not even quite one bot yet, it might be, you might look at some of these bigger accounts and think, oh, well, that's so far away from where I am right now. And it really isn't, because you could potentially, once you get one bot going, you could potentially have that bot fund the next one and the next one in, I would be comfortable in estimating within probably 2 months, you could fund it. It depends on the market. That certainly is not a promise or a guarantee, but it really would depend on all those factors. And but it's happening. It's happening. I'm seeing it live before my eyes with real people, just like you, in all kinds of different countries, in all different places in their lives and whatnot. So within a year from now, the position you could be in is just could be dramatically different. And believe me when I say the profits that this spins off on a regular basis and a consistent basis, you certainly could replace income from a job and open up brand new realities for your financial future. This I see is something that could be a major supplement to retirement income for all those annuities and pensions and government programs that are getting smaller and smaller as the value of the dollar decreases and decreases. And at the end of the day, the amount of money you've got left it just doesn't buy as much, right? This is something that can really supplement that as well. So yeah, that's why I really strongly believe in this. I've endorsed it to my friends and family and my loved ones as well. I've got my dad into it, cousins, I'm on board big time. So I have no problem recommending it, giving it the full thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. So, but there was one other thing I wanted to show you here, if I share my screen again, and that is the shot of my actual account, the numbers. Let's have a look at where things sit right now. And don't let it, I don't want to say discourage you or whatever, but if you're at all concerned because of the 10 bots and not sure how many you've got or how many you're going to be able to put on. So let's just go ahead and take a look at my my account actually right now, because I wanted to show that to you as well, where things stand today. And I just snapped this photo before the screen share or screenshot before I started this video. So it's fresh. And I just took this instead of going live onto the account so that I don't have to mask off certain parts on the video and whatnot. Yeah, so what I've got here is 10 bots. You see that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I've got 10 bots. And when you're looking at the this screen on Bitsgap to try and make sense of it and understand what's going on, there's several columns here that you can see, and most of them, are just nice for information. They don't really matter. Like this transactions, for example, it's nice to know how many transactions. You remember I was telling you that with these bots, it's going to be buying here and selling there and buying here and selling here and all those transactions multiple times. Well, if you look here at this bot down at the bottom, it's done 19,000 transactions in just about 3 months' time. That's a lot, right? I mean, that's the thing, that this is something that we couldn't do as humans. And even if you had some kind of super brain, we couldn't manually process it quick enough. You can't keep up. You can't do what the bots can do, what the automation can do. And that's what gives you the edge. That's what works. So yeah, with that column is not, it's more of a point of interest than anything at all. I do like the average daily trading time, because that tells you how long a bot has been on for. This one's been on for nearly 12 days. This one is 12 days. This one is nearly 19 days. And down at the bottom, my oldest bot is nearly 3 months old. And if we continue down, we can see that this one here in the middle called bought profit, that's probably what I look at most frequently. And this is the exact representation of where that bot is in this moment of time, how much money I've made off that bot since it's been put on, and what the ROI is. So on this first one here, in nearly 12 days, it's made me $105, which is nothing great. It's moving kind of slow, to be honest with you. But that's made a 3.4% return on investment over those 12 days. That's the thing. This ROI, this is on that period of time. It's not over a year or some crazy long. So when you think about, look at this one, I made 30% in 25 days, in nearly 1 month. That's pretty good, right? Like, it's amazing. And when you look, you can see that the longer a bot is on, the better it performs. And that's just partly because of that portfolio effect, and just because of the time in. And it gets really, as you've got a bot that's on there for longer time, more and more days, more and more weeks, it's more and more difficult for you to lose money with it, because it would have to go down a substantial amount in order for it to lose the bot profit that you've already made, right? So it's the kind of thing that's why you sit back and do nothing, because once you've got a couple of good ones on and you realize, yes, I'm going to keep those, and they're just churning and they're working properly for me, then there's nothing else to do except come in here and try and explain things to other people. So when you just to go the change, so the change here, this one here, I hardly pay any attention to it at all, because that's directly related to what is the value of your coin at any given moment in time, which is, in the way that this strategy is set up, it's irrelevant. It really is. It's only relevant when you want to sell. That's the only time it matters, is where this coin is at. Otherwise, all we care about is how much profit we're making out of it. And that means that coin value, right? Here's a good analogy here, way to think of it. This coin value, it could be way up here and chugging away in profit, 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 or it could be way down here, chugging away and giving me profit, 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 right? Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if the coin is high or if it's low, because it's still doing this the whole time. The only times it doesn't do that is if it shoots right up, because then it goes up too high and too fast for there to be very much wiggle. But that's okay. You just wait, it gets up there and it starts wiggling again, and that's okay. You're good to go. The only other time is if it drops down, like I say, underneath the grid line. And that's what some of these things here where it says range, that's what's happened there. And when I showed you that picture earlier of that other one, where there's no circles down below, that's why, because it's gone down below the grid and the price has gone down faster than it could keep up with. And now it's under the grid. And so we're just waiting for it to come back. So that's the reason why it doesn't matter that this change column and what the value of your coin is right now, because we're not going for the value. That'll be nice cherry on the top. If we did buy low and we do get to sell high one day, great. But that's not the reason we're doing this. The reason we're doing this is so that we can have this bot income, this steady income that's going to give you the ability to quit your job and go on that dream vacation and buy the new house or whatever it is you want to do. This is the way you're going to get there. So this next column here, the value column, that's just an indication of it changes all the time too, based on what's happening with the value of the coin. But that is where you would look to see how much money you probably put into that coin in the first place, although it fluctuates, right? Because in the beginning, like for example, I know this one here, for example, is a HODL bot. This is a bot that is ETH and BTC. It was started with $5,500. So I just know that, but this is how much money it's changed in this period of time. So it fluctuates constantly as well. And I don't pay much attention to that either. So the main one is this bot profit and these numbers on the top. So the numbers on the top, if you added up each one of these percentages and then you divided them by 10, you would get roughly 16.25%. It's going to be slightly different for those people who are going to do the math and say, oh, I was off by 3% or by 0.3%. And it will happen because it's not exact. And this number, the number that's on the top, I don't know how frequently they're updated, but they're not in sync with what's going on here, and they're just slightly off. And that's fine. We just have to accept that. Dan talks a lot about fuzzy math, it's a lot easier to accept fuzzy math when you're getting these bought profits constantly, which in this case here, it was 105, was 264, was 224, is skipping down, was 108, was 1,040, 440. Once you start seeing this with your own eyes coming into your balance, and by the way, these bought profits, they're not sitting there held in some kind of a, waiting for a period of time to expire before you can take them out. They're instantly put into your balance in your exchange, which is staying in your name the whole time. So the balance in your exchange, you can do whatever you want with that. You can put that money back in and you can reinvest it in another bot. You can take the money out, you can put it back into fiat currency and use it to pay your mortgage or go on a holiday or whatever. And you could also invest it in other ways in the cryptocurrency market. It's 100% up to you with what you want to do with it. In the meantime, even after I got this $277, this bot is still out there. And it's still working for me, and it's still doing that even after it chunked out that money out for me, even after I've got that bought profit already in my balance. It's already in my back pocket. I can do whatever I want with it. That's why the system is so stellar. I hope that you can see that. So with these numbers here, these percentages, that roughly works out to this amount. If you added up the bought profit, that is going to be about the same in terms of how much money you will have seen over the course of this investment. Now, these numbers are not the same. This is going to be what I'm up overall on my investments on this capital, this 33.8. So, and I mean, you can do the math. You can see if it's 5397 divided by 33,800% is 15.96%. And so it's a little bit less than the 16.25, but that's where you're sort of close enough comes in, right? But this last column over here, which I might be blocking with my picture a little bit, is the sum total P&L. This one was a sum bought profit, summary bought profit, summary of what the bot is profiting right now. This one is the summary total with the profit and loss. And the reason it's different is because this takes into consideration this coin value thing, right? So the bot profit in the center, all that is the reality of what you've already earned, what's already gone into your bank account. This summary total, the profit and loss, that's factoring in if the coin has gone up in value or if it's gone down in value and where it's at right now. Meanwhile, it's still pumping out those profits, right? So right now, and you can see from a lot of this red here, it's down because it's been down like crazy, but I don't care because I'm still making my profits day in and day out. So it doesn't matter. I know that regardless if the price is up or if the price is down or if the price is in the middle, it's still going to keep wiggling and it's still going to keep buying and selling and it's still going to keep putting money in my pocket. That's why I don't freak out when I see the red. So hopefully that helps. I really hope it does because I've been thinking about this and trying to come up with a way, come up with an analogy to try and explain it better. But anyway, I just want to say in closing, I'd like to invite you. Please go and watch that webinar if you have not seen it yet. There's a link below for the replay. You can go ahead and click that and watch it. It'll be on demand at this point. I'm sure it'll be available. And give it some serious thought, you guys, because this is a game changer. This will change your financial future. It will. It's something that you really should not put off. Because remember at the beginning of this training or video, when I said the cost of opportunity and in the 7 weeks since this was available last time and now I've made $7,748, I think it was. Can you really afford? Do you really want to wait? Do you really want to wait? This, I mean, I know Christmas is around the corner. I'd like to suggest this would be the ultimate Christmas present. for yourself, anyway, do that. And on a last note, what I will say as well, if you do decide to go ahead and join the plan, I would like to cordially invite you to come and sign up through me using my link and take advantage of my 12 real value bonuses that are available to anybody who does sign up with me. They're only available through me. I've not seen anybody even come close to the level of support that I am providing after the fact for you, so that, again, I can help you to get from where you are now to get up and running as quickly as possible, as smoothly as possible. That's my goal. And that's why I put all these bonuses together. So there's a big long list below to tell you all about which bonuses, what they are. There's another link. You can actually watch a video too and see me explain each one of those bonuses so that you can really understand what you're going to get. But it will be the best value for you. I can promise that. That's one thing I can promise. Unlike returns and whatnot in this market, there are no guarantees. So on that note, I will say thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you again very soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
If I was going to tell anyone to get into crypto in this crazy market, in this crazy world, it's the plan or it's nothing, right?
Working with Heather, she is extremely knowledgeable and helpful, and her bonuses when you sign up are amazing.
About Heather, it's incredible. Heather's bonuses are a must when you're going to take up on Dan Hollings' The Plan.
Those two components, the plan and Heather Farrell with her marvelous boni that she provides, made me gain my first relevant profit within the crypto space.
Heather, thank you so much. All your support, Q&As and all the other goodies that you are handing out to people couldn't be any better. Heather, keep going, and thanks tremendously for your help and support.
I was originally signed up under somebody else, and I made the switch to work with Heather, and I definitely do not regret it.
And signing up under Heather, she offers a number of bonuses, Facebook group, which I think is essential.
What I also appreciate about Heather is how genuine she is, and she continues to provide value.
Her Facebook group is probably one of the biggest assets.
Deep appreciation to Heather. It's all because of her that I'm actually able to be in the plan right now. Fantastic. She was so dedicated. I can't believe it. I'm so grateful because, it's only a month that I'm in and it's beyond my expectation.
It is absolutely helpful to have a real sympathetic person on your side who is there for you for any questions about the content of the course, the plan, and provides an exclusive Facebook group you can attend where nice people share their experience as well.
Heather's bonuses really gives you an extra edge, and it also gives you that extra confidence.
This opportunity is too good not to share, so I encourage you all to go for it.
The best bonus, in my opinion, is the Facebook group. You're going to want to talk to people going along that same journey, and that's really what this group is for. And there's a number of other bonuses too, which you definitely should check out, but it's that group, and you're going to go on a journey, and you're going to be learning a lot of information with each other. It's going to be great too. No regrets. No regrets. Get in.
I highly recommend getting the plan and getting into Heather Farrell's trading community. So cheers to all fellow traders. Bye.